So I learned about Epicurean philosophy probably around the year 2009 or 10 while reading The Portable Atheist by Christopher Hitchens, which is a collection of essays. And I think it starts out with Lucretius. And that's how also I learned that Thomas Jefferson was an Epicurean, and that really caught my attention because Thomas Jefferson is the author of the Declaration of Independence and is responsible to the social contract that we live under, basically, so to a great extent. So that's how I learned about it initially, and then I went through that rabbit hole of learning more about Epicurean philosophy, and I ended up liking what I was reading. Well, I think it meets many of the things that I was looking for. I grew up Catholic, so when I was growing up, I was told that you have to have faith in things that you cannot see. And I felt like the way that Epicurean philosophy is taught, where it always looks to nature as the point of reference and the evidence of nature. So that way of respecting the intelligence of the student is something that I wasn't used to. And I wanted something like that. So that's one of the things that attracted me to it, is that it's based on the study of nature, and there are no supernatural claims or any beliefs that are insulting to your intelligence. So that's one of the things that I was looking for. But also, it addresses the existential needs of human beings still, right? So you don't have to believe in supernatural claims or anything that's insulting or harmful in any way to meet those needs. So that's what I like about it. Well, for me, as far as my daily practice, I study, I write, I read, and I sleep 8 hours. I make sure to take care of my body first and foremost. And the main thing about my practice so Epicurus says that with philosophy with philosophy, the activity and the pleasure happen at the same time, right? So you should be enjoying yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself when you're practicing philosophy, you're not doing it right. So one of the things that I do to make sure that I'm enjoying the process of practicing philosophy, whether I'm writing or reading or editing an essay or whatever it is I'm doing for the website or whatever it is to focus on what I'm doing and put everything else aside. So if I don't have the mind or the mood right now to do what I'm doing, I don't do it. I'll wait another day or another week or however long it takes. And but when I am reading my book or writing my essay or doing whatever I'm doing, I'm 100% focused on that. And what that does is that helps me to make sure that I enjoy what I'm doing, because if you're completely in absorption of whatever it is you're doing, typically you're enjoying yourself, whether you're creating, whether you're learning, whatever it is you're doing, typically you're enjoying it when you're 100% in the zone, right? So I mind my disposition, I mind my attitude when I'm trying to practice. I think the reason was I felt like there was nothing like what I wanted to see out there. I wanted there to be circles of Epicurean friends. I wanted there to be mentors and people that you can go and that are experts that can teach you about Epicurean philosophy, and communities and gardens eventually. And there was none of that as far as I knew. So I wanted to at least start getting people together to start talking about how do we maybe create Epicurean community, and how do we build maybe a circle of Epicurean experts around ourselves so that we can grow and learn and practice together. So currently what I'm doing is I'm rereading De Rerum Natura. I took a little bit of Latin recently, so I'm looking more at some of the words that sometimes you look up the meaning of the word and it takes you in a whole, like it really illuminates what the original text is saying. So I'm doing that, and I think in the coming months and years I'm going to be writing a lot of Lucretian content. And I'm probably going to start from book 1 all the way through book 6 in order. So that's going to be very time consuming, but I'm thoroughly enjoying that process. But I'm also reading about the Taoist, about the Yangchu tradition and the 7 sages of the bamboo grove and other people in the Taoist tradition, because Taoism has many things in common with Epicurean philosophy. And so I'll be reading and probably creating content around that also. So originally in antiquity, the Epicureans always walked around with a little book called the Epitome, and it was just a compilation of the teachings so that you can memorize the teachings. And we don't have anything like that today. Some people say that the Rerum Natura could be an epitome, but the Rerum Natura is 6 books and it's pretty long. An epitome is supposed to be a summary. So I wanted to create something like an epitome in Spanish and in English for people of today. So it includes the principal doctrines and all the most important writings of the founder, the epistles, Vatican sayings, and also there are translations of the scrolls of Philodemus that are out there, and some of them are affordable, but some of them are like $250, $300, and most people can't really afford that content. So I wanted to write my commentaries and summaries and to make that content available to everyday people, right? So that so people who can't really afford these books can really at least gain some basic familiarity with the contents of these books. And I wanted to do that in English and in Spanish, because that's, we have 2 outlets for the Society of Epicurus. We have a Spanish site and we have an English site. So I just want to make that content available for students.